Hey, hello everyone. I'm Nicky Orta,
I'm Wendy Pedersen.
and we are here for MJC Monday Online Jazz, keeping this Monday night tradition going. It's been something.
Trying to.
Yeah, it's been something that's been going on for how many years now?
10?
Wow,
Are
incredible.
you streaming?
Yes.
I don't see it.
So anyhow, thank you for joining us. Those of you who are coming in, tell all your friends, share the link at from Miami Jazz Co-op page on Facebook, and let's get as many people as we can involved. We're doing this so that during these crazy times, we are still enjoying great music and hearing amazing artists, and hopefully entertaining you, making things a little bit more calm and peaceful and happy and not so dire.
And now I'm trying to do two things at once, so I feel like I'm like looking down, but I'm trying to post this on Nikki's page, but I can't do two things at once. We're super excited about who we're talking to today. It seems to me, I realized this after we booked them, that both of these artists have been really South Florida mainstays since they were like the thing to go listen to, the people to go listen to, since in the 80s.
God, as long as I can remember as a musician.
If you were a musician in, I guess, of a certain age, you were watching these people in awe and like going and following them and checking them out constantly, and so it's really exciting actually to talk to them about what they're up to and what's going on.
Yeah, and we're going to take listen to your comments. If any of you have questions at some point for Ed, well, first of all, let's talk about our first guest.
Yes.
He is one of the great saxophonists in the world. I hear is the most recorded saxophonist, in the world. Really, in the music industry, he's someone that is on thousands and thousands of albums, and he is an amazing musician. We're talking about Dr. Ed Calle.
Woo!
And he's one of ours. So it's going to be a pleasure to listen to him, talk to him, share some thoughts, and see what we have to say. So
So bring him on in.
Ed Calle.
Hi, everybody. How's
Hey, Ed.
everybody doing? How you doing, Nikki? Hi, Wendy. Hi, Nikki.
Good to see you. Thank you so
Hi,
much for
everybody.
doing
Same
this.
here. Oh, thanks for inviting me. And
So-
yeah, now I know how old I am because we've been around for a minute, huh?
Oh my God, it's when you start thinking. I say the '80s just so casually, and then I start counting.
Yeah.
What that means. It's decades. But
Yeah, it's
but hey, we're here and still doing it.
Look,
amen.
We have a comment saying the doctor's in the house.
There's Len. It's my buddy Len Zargo from New York, and I get to see Len. I got to see him a lot when I was touring with Arturo. But we talk on a regular basis. Great guy, and a real one of the first responders, a family of people who are just serving the American public, and just a great guy and a music lover.
That's
Right.
great. And then we've got the Drubins in Virginia are tuning in.
Hi, everybody.
So
Yeah. So we're going to explain a little bit to the audience that we're still exploring this StreamYard format. So it's not necessarily set up for musicians per se. We're finding workarounds to get the audio into the stream, and we were a few days ago, Ed and I were trying to get a feed going on, and it didn't quite work out, and so it's probably a blessing in disguise. We have Ed is going to do all his stuff a cappella, and if anyone can do that in a musical way, it's Ed. And like I said, we're looking at your comments and your questions. If there's anything that you want to ask Ed, that's what the format's going to be with Ed. So he'll play some, and we'll talk about a few things on our minds.
Cool.
So you want to get started with playing something?
Oh yeah, why don't you just get us started in the right foot, Ed?
All right, so maybe since I need to warm up, because us old people need to warm up. This is an old bolero from the Benny Moré repertoire. I'm gonna turn off the talking mic. I can just leave the saxophone mic on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ed Calle.
Yay!
Oh yeah,
Woohoo!
it's,
So good, so
we
good.
need your talk mic.
Yeah. And so just let you know, Whit Seidner is watching.
Hold on,
and
we got
he sent a heart-faced, thing.
Google eyes.
Googly eyes. Laura Sheeks and Mike Abbott are watching up in
Oh, hi,
Colorado.
guys. Hi.
So and both Whit and Laura Sheeks and Mike Abbott remind me of the 80s, because that's when I was at U of M and Nicky was at U of M. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, for me, the first time I think I ever heard you play was with a band called The Company.
Yeah.
And that was a gig where, and that's the one really when we were talking about everybody went to go see The Company play, because everybody, a beautiful musician was in that. The best musicians were in that, and you know, that's what you strove for. So, do you recall this this phase of your life, Ed? Do you recall this?
Yeah. Not only do I recall it, but I have to tell you the truth that I miss that part of our lives together. Those people are my family in so many ways. You know, we spent many years together. 6-7 days a week. We rehearsed together. We played softball together. We played basketball together. We wrote and arranged, and I learned so much music with that band, because we would have to bring in 2 songs every week, or we wanted to bring in 2 songs every week. So I would transcribe things for the band to play, things like, you know, from Phil Collins or from whoever, Lionel Richie, whoever it was. And I learned so much about form and about songs. And working with those people, never did we have a disagreement. Never was there a kind of a vibe in any way, shape, or form. I got to play with John Lovell all the time, who was one of my heroes, and a guy who really taught me a lot about music in terms of phrasing and leaving space. Because, you know, trumpets and flugelhorns have different saxophone players are like guitar players. We can have diarrhea of the chops and just keep going and going. But trumpet players have to breathe, because otherwise, as Arturo Sandoval always says, he says, Dizzy used to say to him that the trumpet mouthpiece never smiles at you. And so I learned a lot from John, and he has great time.
So Ed, I wanted to say this. I know that, you know, we're in this time of social distancing and we're supposed to stay away from each other. So it's really important to have those you love close and to reach out to them. So we have a special thing for you, and we brought a couple people that we wanted you to see and say hi to. So we're going to go ahead and say hi to Joy Francis and Clay Oswald.
I love you guys.
You sound
Ed. Amazing, Ed.
I sound terrible. I have to practice, but you know, it's. I feel so bad I feel badly for Clay and Joy and God rest his soul, for George and Jack and Robert and all the guys in the band, because they actually used to let me practice on the bandstand. We'd go off and play some tune, and I'd play a solo forever and just work things out that I was working out at school. But that was the greatest time. For me, it was the greatest time in my life, because all day I was at school with Whit and these incredible musicians. And you remember, you guys were all there at school, and all the people that, you know, Laura and everybody was there at school. But then I would spend every night with this band, and it was an incredible time, and something that I miss very much. I think we did it a few years back. We all got together and did some stuff together, but
you know, this was the band that was in,
no doubt.
And Ed, I mean, you're looking pretty
Tough.
hip there, man.
All
That's
you
some
guys
tough
are looking
stuff.
there was a time where I had hair and I could see my feet.
You know what I think about when I see that picture, Ed, is that when we first started that band, all we wanted to do was play jazz. We were playing fusion. We were playing. You know, the day that we said, guys, we're not going to get any gigs or earn any money unless we play pop music, we felt like we were selling our soul to the devil. And to wear those clothes and to like sing like the pop stuff and to do all this stuff, I remember feeling like holy shit. This is, can we say that on the internet?
Yes, you did.
It changed so many things. But we all, like every day when I sit at the piano, when I do things, when I write, when I arrange, when I orchestrate, those things that I'm thinking about comes directly from that era of my schooling, my friendships, my relationships, my mentorships, my musical friendships. Right from you right from you, right from George, right from Jack, Robert, John Lovell. It's directly out of that. Gary, Ron Miller, Whit,
Hi, Gary.
Vince. It's well, I'm so directly connected to that every day. I sit at the piano still.
And one of the great things with Joy is that having a singer in the band,
Don't you cry, Joy.
having a great singer in the band really changes your focus, or really helps you to change the focus of how you play, because Joy could generate a connection with people with a few notes, and that's something that a saxophone player cannot do without having that model, that role model there. So for me, that part of it, I spent so much time. There was never a night where I wasn't listening to everybody else and completely ignoring what I was doing. And it's funny because when we started, we were really a jazz band. I always think of us as almost being a band like Sea Wind, or you remember those days. But it was fun to do the pop stuff. It really helped us become better musicians. And we developed
muscles for sure.
It is, and we developed a relationship with an audience that was unbreakable to this day.
Oh yeah.
You still, I'm sure, Joy, you still get messages. Clay, you still get messages from people from Raffles days.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I was so out of my league with you guys. I was like plagued with insecurities, and I was like pinching myself nightly on stage with you guys. Like, how did I get big?
It wasn't like that at all.
You totally deserve to be there.
Absolutely, but you definitely, there was definitely no weak link or anything. You killed it.
No, we
killed it.
We had such a great time together. It was just it was really a family. It was weird, and most bands go through these things where there's all this ego stuff and all this, and it just didn't exist.
That's hard to come by. Especially in that age, when you're young, everyone wants to, show everything, but to have that kind of camaraderie and good feeling within a band, man, that's just not.
But I tell you, on the bandstand, I always felt that I owed it to the guys in the band to always show up and do like the best I could, because I was 3 or 4 years younger than at least most of them. George was quite older, but I was 3 or 4 years younger than Ed and John and everybody else. So if I wasn't 100%, it wasn't even nearly good enough. So I always felt a responsibility to the music, to the guys, to the hi-hat, to the saxophone player, to the vocalist, to the lyric, that I had to be there like completely, or it just wasn't good enough, Yeah,
the good thing about that is that that probably translated in every band that you ever ended up being in.
Absolutely.
Because that's where you learn that work ethic.
Absolutely. And I try to let everybody know that I expect that, without saying it, but by demonstrating that that's the way it has to be. Yes. You can't ever phone it in. You can't ever, I mean, that comes from Whit, that comes from Vince, that comes from Ronnie, that comes from Gary. Those guys sent it to us, and then we send it on down.
That's right.
We can't. It's hard to mention anything that I do in music or that we did in music without mentioning Whit and Gary and that period in because they instilled a commitment to excellence in us, and a commitment to a team effort. Yeah, there was a lot of soloing and there was a lot of that kind of stuff, but it was always about that the weakest link was going to bring everybody else down. And in the company, we very much had that thing going on. I mean, we used to rehearse background vocal parts and try to get all that stuff right and support Joy and try to make sure that we weren't throwing her into some new tonality that had never been discovered before.
And once we found out that Ed had a great falsetto, it was all over.
Yeah, and Ed used to sing all the Prince tunes. Yes, in 1999.
Wow, see, I don't remember that.
I remember all that stuff now with all
I've got tapes.
Talking about that, I have all these cassettes that my mom, may she rest in peace, had at the house, and I put in a few of them at school, and I transferred them over to audio, and I'm going to send them to you guys because it was such an incredible band that when I hear it now, I'm even more impressed with it than I was back then. Right. In other words, the myth it's not a myth. It was really a great.
Yeah, you go back and you realize we were good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
the saxophone player has a lot of work to do. But the rhythm stuff, and George and Clay and John DeFaria, who it's funny, John just celebrated a birthday not too long ago, and I recorded "Happy Birthday" for him here at home and sent it to him, and we talked.
And that was almost a year ago.
Yeah, when you get my age, I have pictures with Moses.
His birthday's April 15th.
Oh my God. Joy she's got a great memory. I can't remember anything. I can hardly remember the changes to the tunes that I'm playing, but that's how it goes.
So, do you have CRFS?
What is CRFS?
Can't remember effing shit.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think a lot of it is selective, like I try not to remember that I once had hair so I don't get too depressed when I look in the mirror or things of that nature. But what an incredible time in Miami in particular, because we would play and then we could go up the street and hear some other bands that were playing up the street, whether it was a show band over by the water. And musicians would come in and hear us and sing with us. John Cicada used to sing with us all the time. And we had this, what an experience. It was a little bit like, I guess, New York was during the heyday, in that we had this incredible community of great musicians that all just sort of hung out together, and we listened to each other and grew up together. And that was just an amazing time.
Well, I gotta tell you, we're gonna let you play some more, Ed, but it's a testament to that feeling that you're talking about, being family. And when we reached out to Joy and Clay, within minutes after sending a text, hey, would you do this? They're like, yes. What do I have to do? Where there was not a minute's hesitation.
You guys are just the best, and I love you very much.
Love you too, Ed. You're amazing.
I gotta practice, but I don't get to see you guys.
Nuclear fusion, Ed. Nuclear fusion.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same.
There's something that we should tell everybody this, but we should really do this. I think we need to record, and now that George isn't here, we'll just invite different bass players who were close to George to take those parts. But
do you know any good bass players?
Yeah, I don't. Wendy might know somebody. But
I've got a couple for you.
I have so much of that music. I have all these folders that my mom kept, and I have the sheets. And then Clay has all the papers and all that stuff. And I think we owe it to ourselves to kind of record. And now that we can all do it from home, we should do that again.
And I know George is smiling on us for sure, you guys.
Yeah, man, I miss him so much. I see Joy's got her Green Bay shirt, and George is wearing his pirate shirt. And, it's what a wonderful time, and I'm so sorry. We've lost so many of our friends, and but thank God that John Lovell is there, and John and DeFaria, and Robert Rodriguez, who I talk to once in a while in New York, and Jack Shiano, who I see often. Everybody else is doing well, and that's the key.
Yeah.
Well, we really want to thank you, Joy and Clay, for coming on and making this a special broadcast.
Love you guys.
Stay well, stay healthy.
Thank you for having us. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Nicky.
I love you, Ed, and I miss you. I love you.
Love you guys. Bye. Bye, Joy. Bye, Clay.
See you later.
Bye.
Oh my God! So there you go, Ed. Surprise!
That's a wonderful moment for me. I get to talk to them. We send emails back and forth and stuff like that. But to spend time like this in a public setting is really special for me. And I can't. It's hard. It's impossible to describe the respect and the admiration and the love that I have for all of them. They without them, I wouldn't exist, and I wouldn't be 1/1000th of musician that I'm trying to become. And that's
it does seem that when the stuff that you did, especially at that age in your late teens and 20s, that's like when you were the sponge, and that's really what sticks. All of that stuff that you did then is really what makes you who you are. So,
yes.
Yeah, it's interesting.
rumor has it that Rick Katz loves the Packers more than
Oh
Jazz.
yeah. Rumor.
That is funny.
All right, you want to play something else for us?
Yeah, you know, what years for the company?
Yeah,
I
those
don't
were
know.
good years.
I think it was definitely AD, but other than that, I don't remember.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna play something since I know Whit is out there. You know, when I went to I was just a kid from Venezuela who had grown up here in public school, but jazz was a completely foreign element. It still is, but it was a completely foreign body to me. And I remember Whit teaching us Stella by Starlight. And many years later, I got to spend time with my mentor and my friend, Michael Brecker, and he said something to me. Whit had said the same thing to me years earlier. And I had taken lessons with Gary Lindsay and with Ronnie's class, and they all stress the importance of one particular scale in music, and that's the ascending form of the melodic minor scale. And Whit said it was the most important scale that I needed to learn. And Michael Brecker said that the melodic minor scale changed his life. And then when you look at Russell's Lydian chromatic concept and all of that. So in tribute to all of those people and to the wonderful melodic minor scale, I'm going to play a little bit of Stella by Starlight.
All
Sounds
right.
great. Thank you.
Now you know.
so good.
Now you know why they invented other instruments.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's fantastic.
I have a lot of fun just playing by myself because I'm very antisocial. So this situation that we're in is almost a second fiddle for me. But really, in all seriousness, I want to wish everybody well. Please take care of yourselves and take care of your families and your friends. Let's do everything that we can to make sure that none of our people are harmed and that nobody's harmed, and that we celebrate.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I wanted to talk a little bit about your Grammy-winning album.
It's not my Grammy-winning album. It's a Grammy-winning album with all of you guys. That album is nothing really except a tribute to my favorite musicians in South Florida and in many cases on the planet. It was something that was being developed, or I was writing, and as more and more people started to play on the record, I started to get phone calls from people saying, "Hey, I'd love to play on it." And I'm a very I believe in God and those kinds of things. Some people don't, and that's okay. But I feel like I got a message. I feel like it was a moment to sort of put people together and let them do what they do best, which is to make music over this insane kind of platform that we built with that record, because it's so complex, as Nicky knows. But Nicky can play anything, and Wendy, you sang, you know exactly what went on, and that Grammy belongs to all of you. It doesn't belong to me, and it really belongs to every teacher I've ever had, not only Whit and Gary and Ronnie and Don and Vince Maggio and Don Kaufman and all Harry Hawthorne, but my junior high band directors, my high school band directors, and all the musicians along the way who have been there to teach me, every producer, every artist who have really opened up to me and helped me to learn a lot about what it is that we do in terms of making music, and what a blessing it is to live in a community and to live at a time when you could call 120 of your closest friends, and they could come over to the house and record an album that will be in history in terms of the award. But people like Melton Mustafa are on that record, and I still, every time I listen to that solo that he played, I just cry. I've got students on that record, kids who were with me at Miami-Dade, because what Whit did for me and what Gary Lindsay did for me and what the UM did for me, we as teachers do for our kids, for our students. So that award has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with all of you.
Well,
Very kind of you.
And Lisanne's watching, and she was saying it was fun to sing on it with Wendy and Joy.
Yeah, so. I mean, can you imagine the talent in this house is blessed. Those spirits are still here. The vibes are still here. To have people like that in your life who I'm lucky enough to share the stage with on a regular basis. I called Peter Graves to play on it, but he's up in North Carolina, and it was just impossible. And Whit and some other people, but you look at those names, and they're my family. They're the people I look up to. They're the people I love and admire, and I really mean that. And I think you guys that know me very well know that that's exactly the case.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that's what that record was all about. That.
Can we play a track?
Of course. I can't listen to myself because I drive me nuts. But sure, absolutely.
So this is Rice and Beans from Mom Blue. Yeah, that doesn't suck.
Yeah, that does not suck.
We had so much fun making that record. You,
Hold on
you
a
can
second.
hear it.
Hold on, give me a second.
Oh, sure.
I got to get out of that.
Technical
There we go.
We had so much fun making that record, and I think you can hear it on the tracks. It's, it's insane.
Yeah.
But that was the intent. It's a party,
Yeah.
and we were all on 8th Street having mojitos like that.
Exactly.
Well, it definitely sounds like it. It sounds like, it's amazing.
We had so much fun doing it, and at some point we're going to make another Mom Blue record, but it just takes time to put that stuff in motion to
Yeah.
to get the idea and to get it get the writing done and all that kind of stuff. And as you can tell, I'm I write so busy because I'm a math guy, and so for me everything is these these layers, but it's who we are, and the musicians are just so spectacular that no matter what part you're listening to, you're just in awe. You're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, listen to the trumpets, listen to the percussion, listen to the drums. That's so funny. But
all these comments coming in, and you have them going, man.
so many friends that I get to see here. You guys are just awesome, and it's really and Wendy and Nicky, you guys know this better than anybody. We practice and we love to play music for the love of music, but if you make music and people don't hear it and don't appreciate it, and you don't touch them in some way, then it really kind of defeats that purpose.
Yeah.
And
sure.
so that's been the biggest blessing maybe of all of this. Rafa, hi Rafa, how are you? There, every person that comes up on the screen, I have a real connection with, and many of them I've gotten to know very, very well over the years. It's what a blessing it is to have friends like that and to have people in your life like that.
Well, the reality is you're the blessing with the music because, you bring so much joy to so many people.
Wow,
Which is,
And you've been doing so for many years
Yeah.
now. Thank you.
hopefully we're going to keep this going. My hope is that at some point I'm going to learn how to play, because it's frustrating. We were talking before the air, and I have to tell you, but just to show you that, because we're all this way. We talk when we're talking amongst ourselves. We're really hard on ourselves, and I'll never forget being in New York and spending time with Michael Brecker, and him saying to me, he said, "Hey, do you ever hear yourself back on the radio?" And I said, "Yeah, I can. I have to change the channel." He said, "What about you?" He says, "Yeah, the same thing happens to me." And for me, that was kind of funny because I think, he was perfect. But he said something to me that I never forgot. He said, sometimes I play at night and I'm so frustrated when I'm done that I'll drive past my house for an hour and drive back just so I can clear my head. And so when people like that at that level treat it that way, that we're not crazy, that it comes with the territory. And that's just part of it. So I'm working at it really hard and working on something to help young people learn so that they maybe can save some time. They don't have to spend quite as many hours in the practice room doing that. But it's a blessing. And hi to Jim Gager, who I saw, and to Rick, and to our whole community out there. I love each and every one of you guys.
I want to let people know that you just, a lot of our studio guys have been doing these interviews called the sessions. And so I wanted to let everybody know that if you go onto YouTube and look up the sessions at Calle, I think we might even have a link, but it's a great interview. I actually haven't sat and watched it, but I've watched all the other ones, and they're just so fantastic. And did you have a lot of fun doing that, or was it nerve-wracking? Or
no, it wasn't nerve-wracking at all. We did it at Criteria, and that's our second home for so many of us. So it was really like being home, and I was in the studio where we recorded Night Games, the very first album. I was in C. So it wasn't nerve-wracking. What isn't nerve-wracking about what we do is, and especially what I've gotten a chance to do for so many years now, and that is to make music in support of some of the greatest talent and some of the greatest musicians and producers and artists and engineers and people who have ever lived. I mean, it's impossible to put into words what it's like to work with Tom Dowd or Phil Ramone or Emilio Stefan or oh God, I'm going to forget, Hal Batt and Mike Lewis and those people. It is absolutely impossible. And what I've learned over time is that what I'm really thankful for is that they all gave me an opportunity to be a part of their musical life. And through it, they have all taught me so many things, whether it's, vibrato with Julio Iglesias and phrasing on top of the beat, or whether it's Betty Wright and she and I talking about, playing on records and time feel or that part of life is impossible to describe. And I'm going to write a book, because when we did the sessions thing, the one comment was about that. And some of this stuff really has to be put down on paper and left for all time's sake, because so many people will come up to you and say, "Oh, that sounds wonderful," or I'm nobody. I am a collection of all these souls that have given me all this stuff, and my job is to try to be the best that I can be, and to leave behind something that people can utilize to make themselves better and to make the world better and to make music better. The rest of it is really not there, but the stories in the sessions are pretty remarkable. I've had things happen to me that, as we all have in music, but I've had things happen to me that are uncanny.
Right.
They're just uncanny. How many? I was with Whit over at. We were playing a thing with we were playing a concert with a concert jazz band. Chick Corea's on the stage. I'm warming up against the wall, and I feel air on the back of my neck. And I turn around, and it's Dizzy Gillespie.
Right.
Dizzy Gillespie's face is literally 2 inches from me, and he said, "What's your name, kid?" And I told him, and he said, "You sound great." The next time I saw Dizzy was recording the Flight to Freedom album in New York. He knew exactly who it was. He walked up to me, took an olive from my salad as we were listening back, with Chick Corea sitting in the room, and Arturo and Dave Weckl, and he said to me, he said, "You're the kid on the wall. You still sound great." And
Wow.
when stuff like that happens in your life, you realize that it happened because people put you in these crazy positions. And I'm a vessel in that respect, and God, am I thankful for it, and I feel a real sense of responsibility for it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you're giving back, and that's all,
Yes.
with your music and your teaching. So
We're trying.
that's the amazing thing. Do you think you could play one more song for us?
Sure. I'll play a little bit of something pretty. My father only heard me play one time.
Is that
And,
true?
Yes, that's true. It was his idea for me to play the saxophone and to play band, and
wow.
but he only heard me play one time and passed away so young. And
Wow.
this was the only song he ever got to hear me play.
Ooh, that was beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really what the saxophone's made for, I think. Those of us who like to be racehorses, we really are more of a, we're really more of a service vehicle. But
I think
yeah,
it's all good, and I think all of us would listen to you practice anytime you want us to.
I've got to, not only do I have to practice, but I've got to take my mouth is a little dry from medication, but got to take my horn in to get fixed and all that kind of stuff that goes on. But right now with this virus, I'm here.
You're home.
And yeah, I'm entrapped in my favorite room in the world, which is this room, and you can see that it's there's a lot of little wrestlers all over because I'm a huge WWE fan because my mom and I
Okay.
used to watch wrestling.
That's funny.
But not that I like watching guys in their underwear jump off the top rope.
Sure, Ed. The truth
Well,
comes
the things you
out.
find out in an interview.
My wife gets mad at me because she thinks I just watch it for the girls. But the truth is that my mom and I were huge wrestling fans. I used to watch in Venezuela. But I'm surrounded by instruments. There's a woodwind corner over here. There's a saxophone corner over here. There's even a flying saxophone. I think you can see it if I move my rather large body out of the way. I think you'll see a little flying saxophone over here. So when I'm recording, I typically use lots of different horns to, technology. I use a lot of different instruments to record multiple parts and to do that kind of stuff. And so I'm in a really great place. This is my sanctuary in so
Yeah.
many ways.
Well,
Sorry, I lost my ears.
okay. Well, I won't talk.
I struggle with technology.
Life is a struggle, Ed.
Whatever I
We've
did.
got more
wasn't good.
comments.
But
Oh, that's a long one.
we'll do it this way. But it's always fun to make music, and it's always fun to spend time with you guys and spend time with the South Florida jazz community and the co-op, the great work that you all do, and I'm blessed to be a part of it in whatever way I can.
Well, Ed, I mean, thank you so much for agreeing to do this and making it an incredible
I'm gonna.
broadcast.
I can't believe I lost the. Hold on.
Oh, it's coming.
So we have a lot more people watching. We have Giselle and Armour and Steve Johnson are watching, and Mary Sand is watching, and Juan Gonzalez, and David Ayote.
You can still hear me from here, right?
I
Yep,
can hear
we
you.
can.
Okay.
Yep.
Now,
So yeah, it was.
take this out.
Yep.
The headphones. So I can hear you. There we go. Now I can hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I entrap myself with the cables.
Well,
Now you'll never
Yeah.
leave the studio.
Well, I usually when I'm recording, I always use wireless.
of course.
So we want to encourage everybody to go watch the sessions at Calle. Listen
Yes,
to Mom
please.
Blue. Stay home and stay safe.
Stay home and stay safe.
Yeah, and Ed, we love you. Thank you so much.
Love you guys very much.
We're gonna go talk to another slacker by the name of Rick Krive, who maybe you've heard of.
I'll say hello if you want, because Rick and I.
Well, actually,
Oh, okay.
let's bring Rick on, and you can say hello to him.
Well,
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right,
for
that's great.
starters, let's
What?
let us talk for a second about our next guest.
Well, our next guest is another person that if you were here in the 80s, you always went to go see his band, because up in Fort Lauderdale, he was the person with the most amazing band and the group that you wanted to see. So down in Miami, it was the Company, and up in Fort Lauderdale, it was Rick Krive and the Circle. So we're going to add Rick to the screen so he can say hi to Ed. Oh, look, there he is.
There we go.
There's Rick.
The only person whose thumb is bigger than his head. Ed, oh my gosh, what a pleasure
It's so great to see you,
to
Rick.
see you and hear the stories and hear your heart. Oh my gosh.
It's always great to hear you. And
What a
make music
pleasure.
Together, we get a chance to make music pretty regularly with Charlie Colello and
Right,
Yeah.
and at the church. So we're
right.
It's great, and I spent a lot of time playing with you with the band all those years in the '80s, and we
Yep.
played together so much. So it's great to see you, and boy, are they in for a treat. We're all in for a treat. I'll keep listening, but we're really in for a treat.
sure.
With
Oh.
Rick.
Oh
He's
gosh.
one of the greats, and one of my
sure.
favorite musicians, and
Us too.
not only an
We-
incredible singer but an incredible piano player, an incredible musician.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
Wow.
he's an even better person. So we're in pretty good shape there.
Ed, I suck just like you do.
Yeah.
You suck as good as Ed. That's what I'm gonna say.
Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. It's like you'd figure after you've done this so many times,
Oh
once
gosh.
it would just be good, but no.
I know, but tell me. Oh my gosh.
Well, we're going to give Rick his chance to
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah.
And,
Have
Ed,
fun, guys.
thank you again, Ed.
Eddie, bless you,
Thank
man.
you all. Bless you too.
Happy
Bye.
Easter,
We
man.
so appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Wow.
Hey, you.
Wow, really? You put
Howard?
Ed on, and then what? What's left?
And
What's
then-
left?
well,
I don't know.
I think you're gonna be like kicking your feet really fast to keep your head up over the water. That's we wanted to encourage you. We wanted to.
You know what? To see Clay, to see Joy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what a treat! What a nice thing you guys are doing.
We're having
What
fun.
a nice thing.
We
I
got
can
it.
tell.
And you, how have you been staying safe and keeping?
Before we go on a second, the people out there in the audience, are you hearing Rick? Because I want to
I
make
hear
sure.
Rick.
I want to make sure that everybody can hear him. Yes.
I hear.
My
all hear
thumb is bigger than my head.
I mean,
Well, Ed heard him, so
you,
I
so
think
we're
it's
good.
okay. I think it's okay.
Anyway, so
figure it
Rick, what a pleasure to see you in these, odd times, but in a way, it's
Yeah.
bringing people, together probably more than we would
Right?
have
Exactly.
if we had
Exactly.
been, able to get out. It's
I would have seen you guys probably at Christmas again
Exactly.
Exactly. Yep.
for our one time a year. Oh my gosh.
How have you been doing during this?
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
Nah, no problem. I was in. I got out of London the day I left the morning of the evening where he instituted the president instituted that travel ban.
Oh,
And things
wow.
were getting a little dicey right about the time I was leaving. Our last show got canceled, and but I didn't get, I quarantined myself for a couple weeks, and I'm not, I didn't get sick, and
Yay.
hallelujah, I did not get sick.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
Well, we're happy to see you. We're happy to talk about everything.
Well, I'm just. And Nicky, who's that on your shirt? Who's that on your T-shirt?
This is my favorite classical composer,
Delius.
Frederick Delius.
Delius. Wow.
He's not very well known, but he's a harmonic genius, man.
Wow.
You could see where the jazz stuff came from,
Ah. Wow.
harmonically. for
See,
sure.
I just learned something.
We'll
I'm
talk.
so glad I'm
Well,
here.
let's talk.
I never knew about Delius.
Yeah. So Rick, let's start off hearing something, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
Okay.
Is that all right?
That's all right.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. I'll talk about this later, right?
Sure.
Yes.
You do
What
whatever you
it
want.
is.
And folks, don't worry about the things being a little bit out of sync. It looks funny, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Just close your eyes and plug your ears.
No.
Okay, here we go. Boom, boom, boom.
Day after day, alone on a hill, the man with the foolish grin is keeping perfectly still. But nobody wants to know him, they can see that he's just a fool. He never gives an answer, but the fool on the hill sees the sun going down, and the eyes in his head sees the world spinning around. Well, on his way, head in a cloud, the man with 1,000 voices talking perfectly loud. But nobody ever hears him or the sound he appears to make. He never seems to notice, but the fool on the hill sees the sun going down, and the eyes in his head sees the world spinning around. Well, on his way, head in a cloud, the man with 1,000 voices talking perfectly loud, and nobody seems to like him. They can tell what he wants to do. He never shows his feelings, but the fool on the hill sees the sun going down, and the eyes in his head sees the world spinning around.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to count in that last big hole. Damn. Shit. Okay.
Hey, Gary Lindsay says, always great, inventive arrange. You could see this. Love the whole package.
Oh,
Miss you.
Gary. What a guy.
Look at that. How fun.
Yeah, I always enjoyed him. I had him do a couple of New Year's Eve gigs when I was working at the Ritz. And it was like, I'm going, he won't want to do this. And he came up and killed it and was the gentleman that he is, that you know him to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
he's a
were
great
talking
guy.
to Ed about how his band, The Company, was like the thing to see. And yours was the thing to see up in Fort Lauderdale, the Circle.
The Circle.
So we wanted to show this picture because it just shows everybody when they were just babies.
Oh,
When
yeah.
they were
And
just
during
babies.
the days. So here is a picture. Do you remember this at all? Do you remember these people?
Boy, do I remember that. That was like the, oh my gosh, look at Schmunky. I haven't seen him in years. And John Lovell. Look at Harvey. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Oh gosh, we were so young. And yeah, I that was like the third incarnation of that band. Walter White was in it at one point, and Brian Smith was in it at one point. Don Miller was in it at one point.
Rick, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay, we lost our video for some reason, but don't let that stop you.
Oh, it doesn't. I didn't.
But you know
anyway.
what? We were saying that it's very important to keep our distance, but we want
Really, keep your distance.
so our video stopped
You need to
working.
turn your
But
camera
we're going
off.
we want to bring to you this gift, and we want you to say hi to a good friend of ours, the fabulous, and yours, the fabulous.
Let me try and get ourselves
Yeah, where'd you guys go?
I don't
back
know
here.
what happened.
Something happened to our
I
camera.
want to see you.
These are the glitches that happen.
We don't know what happens, but you're there. That's the most important thing.
And in the meantime, we'll bring someone else in.
Come on, surprise me.
Okay.
Well, it's
Who is it? Of course, it's Mike Harvey.
Mike.
You guys hear
I
me?
love that picture of you.
Whoa.
Mike Harvey.
We hear you very loud.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, that
Yeah.
haircut is something else, boy.
Oh my gosh, Mike! When I pulled that, that picture out
Referred
the
to
other.
as the stump.
I pulled that picture out of the file cabinet the other night, and
Laptop.
I haven't seen those pictures in I don't know how many years. And Mike,
Hi, Rick.
hi, Mike. I was talking to you. I was talking about you.
I can't hear what Rick's saying.
I think
I know
Rick
he's
is saying
being broadcast,
He
but-
can't hear you, but
I can
everyone
hear
else
him.
can.
I got Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, Mike, you
That's
can't
too
hear.
bad.
Joy,
I-
Joy.
you can't hear Rick.
Hi, Ed Calle. No, I
Okay.
can't hear Rick. I heard Ed fine, so
Okay, so let's
something
do
happened
this.
in the interim. But
Let's take out. I don't. These are crazy things that happen that we try
This is
different
a
things.
StreamYard issue. Let me take you out of the stream and bring you back in.
Okay, can you hear Rick now?
Hello,
Talk,
Mike.
Rick.
Hello, Mike.
no.
No.
Sorry.
Take Rick out and put him back in and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just see what happens. Let's just try this. Different things. Now, can you hear?
Hello, Mike. No,
Well then, okay. In that case,
Mike can't
All right.
hear me.
Yeah.
we'll be-
Oh,
we'll
now
be-
I hear
we'll
him.
be the voice.
I hear him
Oh,
now.
You got me.
Ooh, all right,
Yeah,
good.
I think he's on a big delay.
I heard them both.
It's okay.
So at some point when Rick plays again, we're gonna probably leave the studio and come back in, and hopefully we'll be seen again.
Oh my God.
Oh
man, look
my
at that
God.
picture.
Wow, that was a caricature that someone did.
Yeah,
Yeah, Eric Bright did that.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
That's
had that
funny.
commissioned.
So what year did the circle actually begin?
The circle began in 83 with Tony Lavender and Don Miller. It was just a trio. And then when there you guys are there. And then it was we had I had the gig up at the Sheraton up in West Palm for like a year and a half. And then that ended, and I think Tony went to school. Tony went on to U of M, and then it was like Brian Smith was in the band, and it was Brian and Don Miller and I. And then Brian left sometime 86, something like that.
I think it was,
And
fall
it
of
was 86. And then
Yeah.
Mike came in 86, and Don Miller left, and then Mark Spielman came in, and Walter White, bless his heart, love Walter. He left about this. I don't know if I'm not gonna tell the story, but it was he had to go. And then John Lovell came into the band, and the picture you saw was that last incarnation of the.
Wow.
And I wanted to tell you, I guess his internet wasn't strong enough, but we Kenny Anderson was going to be on the stream today to say hi, and he was very
We
excited.
had him in the back room for the longest time, and somehow he got his internet connection got lost.
Oh, nuts!
Hi, Kenny.
So-
Yeah.
He was.
can
He
hear
was.
us Right?
It's a similar. It's a similar thing to what Ed Calle was talking about having, when we reached out to Mike and Kenny, they just, there was no hesitation.
Right.
Those are good times.
Those were great times,
Those
and
are
of course,
great times.
But Mike and I, we've all worked together for years, since then. And I've worked with Kenny in the last 6 years, a number of times, both with Dina and with Joe Piscopo. So I see him every now and then, and we talk on the phone every now and then. And I just love Kenny. Yeah,
Well, not to put you on the spot or anything, but, we have been talking about doing the circle and the next incarnation.
Yes.
So just saying.
Yes.
So anytime
I hear
you're
you.
ready.
No, it's the time is. How many years we've been talking about? How many years have I been waiting? Blah blah blah. We really need to. We need to make. Hey, Richie.
It'll happen.
Oh,
so
thank
fun.
you, Gary. Awesome.
Let me just say that I think that was such a huge influence, that Christmas album for me.
Right.
That was a huge deal, and I listen to it every year.
Michelle Amato every year says the same.
Yeah, this is
my
something that's not
gosh.
Christmas until the Rick Krive Circle Christmas record comes on. It was such a great the arrangements. They're so good. I just
Awesome.
love it. I love it. I have to
Awesome.
say.
So yeah, you just got to keep it going.
Yeah.
At some point.
Then what the hell happened to him?
Mike Harvey's in. We're in, and you're there.
Yep.
At some point we need to keep that going.
Yeah.
At some point, when they open the
Yeah. Stop playing for everybody else and play for yourself.
That's
damn
right.
it.
exact, you know what, boy, oh boy, how many years have I been saying that? Oh my goodness.
Hey, let's
Yep.
play something for us.
Oh, can you do something in Portuguese, maybe?
Oh my gosh.
And
Well,
Bocelli, perhaps?
no, oh my goodness, Mike Harvey. That's awesome, buddy. Actually, no, because I only worked up a couple of numbers, and I'm a little rusty, You guys are so funny. Let me do this. I don't.
Mike, you want to stay with us for a little bit?
Yeah.
Mike
I
Harvey?
want to.
Sure.
I want to
Okay.
talk to
Yeah,
Mike.
beautiful.
Mike's.
Good.
He's heard this before. I won't take a solo or anything. I'm just gonna play the two verses and then
Do it for us.
move along.
Knock us out.
Coisa mais bonita, onde você estava? Em que terra, em que país? Toda a minha vida sinto que esperava por você pra ser feliz. Gente se amava antes de se conhecer. O Senhor me guardou você. O Senhor me guardou você. Coisa mais bonita, tudo que procuro e já nem sonhava ter. Você não acredita o quanto era escuro, ter luz e não prever. Pega o meu futuro, jura que não vai perder. O Senhor me guardou você. O Senhor me guardou você. O Senhor me guardou você.
Obrigado.
I didn't understand
Very
the word.
nice.
Obrigado, gente.
Do you
Yeah.
speak Portuguese?
Eu falo muito, eu entendi nada. You understood that, didn't you?
I heard nada.
Yeah, I speak a lot, but
That's
I
all I
don't
got.
understand anything.
Oh my God.
No, I speak a little. I studied. Thank you, Connie. I speak a little. Kind of.
I speak a little.
I can get around. I go to Rio, I could get around.
And
Kind
so
of.
what are you up to now? You're doing the. You're
I'm doing what you guys are doing.
Okay. So what were you doing up until a couple of months ago?
Up until I was working, doing a couple. There were a couple shows with Dina, but most of it this year was with Dawn Marie. You know, remember Dawn from our party? My gal. Been doing a few things locally with her, and then I was working with Lulu, and I think I was in England 3 times up until the last show would have been just. It was a blast. It was that show, and
What was that?
it never came off. It was with a part of the BBC Radio Orchestra, and 5 horns and a percussionist and the band, and it was the whole thing. The rehearsals were such a kick at the BBC studios there in Maida Vale, big sound stage like the big room at Criteria. That's like the quartet. That was last summer at one of the Rewind festivals up in Scotland, I think. But I've been doing working with Lulu on and off. Did a nice tour with her last fall, couple months. Blast! Oh my gosh, got to see all of the UK again. It was the second time I did it. It was just I kind of feel like I kind of came late to the party. Oh, there's Dina.
Yeah.
There's Dina Martin.
So you're
Where'd
the
that
MD.
Where'd you find that picture?
On
That's
her
cool.
website.
On her website, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been working with her, since 2012. Mike's done a couple of those. Mike's done a couple Dina gigs. We were
looking forward to the one
on the 27th.
March
yeah,
27th. Yeah,
we were supposed to be up at Spanish River Church, where I used to be the music director there for 10 years, and I was so looking forward to being there on that stage again. But
Well, I'll tell you
everything got canceled.
what I'm hoping, that this everything that we're going through right now will resolve, hopefully within a few months, but
hopefully
certainly
in a few months, yeah.
by December, because December every year for the last
That's right.
how many years now?
How many years have we done that?
Christmas is not official for me until we play this
Right?
Christmas party.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
With Rick, and so we're hoping that happens, if only to see Rick look like this.
You dog!
I'm just
Where did you
saying.
find these pictures?
I mean, this is what I live for.
Oh my gosh! That party is just like what I can't even talk enough. I just love her. Don't you
Yeah.
just love Michelle?
Oh, Michelle.
Oh my gosh.
absolutely. Michelle and Chris, absolutely.
Chris and Michelle just put the best party. For me, that ushers in the holiday season.
Yep.
Rick, what do you want to do for us now?
I wanted to tell another story.
Oh, please.
What story you
I wanted to tell another story. I don't know, Mike. Mike. I don't know if you weren't. No, wait. Were you on the band when Walter White was still in the band?
No, I came in after that.
You came right in because there was a change of a
after
few
he
people,
left.
right? Yeah, at that
Correct,
that point.
yeah.
But Walter, I have the funniest story. Walter used to. This was at Penguins, of course, back in the '80s, and Walter liked to imbibe, as we all did, when we were kids. He would go out into the parking lot after the gig, and he would scream at the top of his lungs, "My name is Walter White! My name is White!" And so there are apartment buildings right, butting right up to the parking lot. And this is years ago. I'm on a flight to somewhere, and I get to talking to the guy sitting next to me, and oh, you're from Fort Lauderdale? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm a musician. Yeah, I used to work. Yeah, I did this. And who you played with? Well, I had this band at this place, Penguins. And the guy, and I'm thinking, oh, you used to come into Penguins. Oh, yeah, I know. The band was really good. He says, no, I used to live in that apartment building. And then he goes, who is Walter White? Oh my gosh! My guy,
That's
Walter,
all.
apparently woke this up. He woke the guy up more than once. Anyway,
That is so funny.
that's so funny. Yeah.
So, Rick, give us something of your own, of your choosing.
Okay. Okay, this is something a little more, I like arranging the Beatles tunes,
Oh, okay.
I like doing those Beatles kind of, and Mike, of course, you've played this a number of times, but I did a little sequence on it so I could do it on, when I do my little gigs.
When's your next gig? Just kidding.
Well, May and June canceled, so
Ay.
Ouch.
I think it's July. Maybe.
We all know that story.
Yeah.
July,
Yeah.
hopefully July.
Okay. To lead a better life, I need my love to be here. Take it, Mike. Take it. Here, making each day of the year, changing my life with the wave of a hand. Nobody can deny that there's something there. There, running my hands through her hair, both of us thinking how good it can be. Someone is speaking, but she doesn't know he's there. I want her everywhere, and if she's beside me, I know I need never care. But to love her is to need her everywhere, knowing that love is to share. Each one believing that love never dies, watching her rise and hoping I'm always there to be there and everywhere there and everywhere. Beside me, I know I need never care. But to love her is to need her everywhere, knowing that love is to share. Each one believing that love never dies, watching her rise and hoping I'm always there. And everywhere here and everywhere here, there and everywhere here and
Oh yeah.
Rick, I mean, this is going to sound so like fangirly or whatever, but there are people that you watch and you listen to, and you think, there is no reason why Rick Krive wasn't, Michael Franks in the 80s or 90s,
Why was that?
You know what I mean, or James Taylor or whatever. I mean, you're just as good, if not better.
Oh, bless
and
your
it's
heart.
so, it's like one of those conundrums, one of those weird mysteries of the universe.
Like my thumb being bigger than my head. That is such a weird.
Yeah, I've always
Wendy, bless your heart. Darn it.
I've always admired your arranging. It's just so tasty. Nothing is ever overdone. Nothing ever gets in the way of the melody. There's room for everybody to do their own thing.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
It's brilliant. You're pretty
guys.
brilliant.
I concur. Yeah.
I suck.
I
Me and Ed
enjoyed hearing that
Calle,
again.
we suck.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, thank you. No, thank
Keep
you.
it up.
Thank you. Yes. I got a whole new. Thank you, Bobby Rodriguez. Oh my gosh, Bobby. Thank you, Eddie.
See that?
So,
Wow.
assuming things are back on track in July, are you going to be out of the country?
There were actually there was a Lulu thing on the 10th of May, which
Look, my mom is ready for a Rick Plays the Beatles CD.
You know what? I have often thought about that. I got more Beatles songs. Oh, I got a lot of them.
Think no more.
What's
Think
that?
no more. Do.
I love doing those tunes because they're kind of simple as they begin. From the original recordings, they're easy to reharmonize because the melodies are so strong and
Yeah.
yeah.
On the question of sucking, Ed Kaya says,
Oh my gosh, Eddie's too funny. But anyway, I had a Lulu. I had a lot of local things with Dawn. Those all canceled,
Right.
and then I got some Lulu things that May 10th canceled. I think the June 27th canceled, and
Yeah.
there's supposed to be something on July 4th and July 12th, and those are still intact, but they probably will cancel as well. Festivals,
sure, yeah.
somewhere.
Well, fingers crossed, huh?
Yeah, fingers crossed. I'm enjoying. Actually, I'm kind of enjoying the downtime. I'm certainly not enjoying the news like all of you. I marvel at the first responders and the medical people and
Absolutely.
what they are having to step up and deal with. It's just unbelievable. And they're even losing some of their own. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
But it is. I'm enjoying this time to just have no deadlines, and just be able to get things done around the house. And
This is from Gary Lindsay.
Lulu, oh, what is that song?
Those
Just Serve with
girl
Love.
Days. Really, I've only
Just
played
Serve
it
with Love.
Yeah.
1,000 times. What is that song again?
Yeah.
And in fact, I spoke to her today, and she's all penned up in her house, alone
In England.
in
Is
England.
it? Yeah.
So she's got her calls. She rotates her phone calls and calls people. All of her.
Well,
all of
it's
her band
important
and whatnot.
to keep socially,
It is
connected.
important to keep
That's-
those social contacts. Amen.
That's true. Yeah.
Amen. But yeah, things are weird over there too. London is very difficult. They're having a tough time.
Yeah.
Everyone's going through it. We musicians understand everybody else's plight.
Yep.
Aside from obviously the worst news, the health risks and all that. It's
Right.
It's a tough time. But we were talking with Ed as well that it's also been really inspiring to see all these musicians and artists and entertainers and in the entertainment industry just coming out and doing broadcasts and
Chick Corea does like an hour and a half every day.
I saw that.
Every day.
Yeah.
And he just practices, and people watch him practice. He'll practice classical. Who else is doing that? Fred Hirsch is doing something every day, and it's been
Wow.
really interesting. Melissa Etheridge, a lot
Broadway
of
people have been doing casts. I mean, it's just been
Yep.
It's going to be interesting when everything passes. How much of what's going on now remains, because there's a lot of it that's been really creative and ways of reaching out and doing things, which hopefully some of it will stay in our consciousness and we'll keep on doing it.
Yep.
Not just in a crisis,
I'm enjoying things being a tad slower.
Well, yeah.
Just things. The pace is just easy. Mike, are you out? Are you doing anything? Are you out there recording?
No.
Or
No, I've been home this is day 23.
Yeah.
But who's
Just in
counting?
the house, you know.
Yeah, but
but
who's
who's counting,
counting,
right?
Right.
23 with about 30 more to go, I think.
Right.
But, you know, I think it's going to be a little while before we get back to normal.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
thanks to you, Nicky and Wendy, for putting this together and bringing
Yeah,
us
pleasure.
together. And I miss you guys and
Yeah.
just seeing Ed and hearing him. And
Love
Can't-
you
tequila.
know, it's a
Can't
special
wait to
thing.
hug all you guys and
Yeah.
see
I
you in
know.
person. And
And each and every one of you suck equally, okay? And I mean that. I mean
Oh,
that.
and Mike, dude,
Anyway, yes, sir.
you played on that rice and beans track?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Damn.
Oh, it was awesome.
Oh my!
had
And you
fun.
played on it too, Nicky.
I did not play on that track.
Dang it! That was
No.
like ridiculous.
I'm
There's
not
so
sure.
many things.
I'm
I
not
haven't-
sure who played on that track because
That was
there's like so
ridiculous.
many players.
I think
Right.
I think it might have been Khalifa because
Oh,
it said
oh,
it
that's
was
right. I
like
think it
one
was
of the-
Khalifa.
Rafael Valencia played on that.
Right.
You sounded great on that, Khalifa. And I think, did they list you as Miguel Harvey?
It should have been. You were playing like a
Miguelito.
Miguel.
Dang it, Mike! You just
No, I
killed it.
You were
I had all
playing
these
like a
great,
Miguelito.
great players around me, you know.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
fun.
Well, we're gonna say goodbye to you, Mike. As much as we love you, and we're gonna let Rick
All right,
take
guys.
us out with one more song. Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for
Thanks
doing
again for hosting this.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Mike. It's good to see you, buddy.
see you soon, I hope.
Love
this.
tequila.
I do
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Love tequila.
Bye.
Love tequila. Tequila.
Oh.
I love tequila. I just listened to what I said. Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
Rick, will you take us out with something?
Oh look, Rachel Laban here is online
let's
and
see.
she says, "So happy that I caught this moment. Such great memories." She's great.
Wow.
Yes. What are you gonna play for us? Until we
gosh.
see again.
I don't know. What do you want to hear?
Oh,
You know, I was
surprise.
gonna do.
Yeah.
I was going to do. You know what? Can I do something that Speaking of Brazil,
Yeah.
you know, I still do. I have a thing for, but my fervor of listening to nothing but Brazilian music, that's calmed. But you know, I learned a lot of those Ivan Lins tunes, and then I
Yeah.
started writing some things in that. Oh, hi, Mike. Oh my gosh! I hope that's not the bathroom door. But
No, I'm sure it wasn't.
so I. No, you know what? I'm gonna play another Beatles tune. Can I do another Beatles thing?
Wendy's mom's gonna be thrilled.
Wendy's mom's. You know what, Wendy? This is for your mom. You know what? Now this is a. Gosh, there were so many. I have some other great Mike Harvey stories. You know, he was, and I know I don't want to burn a hole in your night here, but the last.
Please do.
The night before. Sadly, we all remember Jocko, and those of us here in the community remember that time. I'm sure, because it seemed like everybody was at that funeral. But I remember Jocko came into Penguins like 2 nights before that happened,
Wow.
and he was very absent of mind, and the club owner had to chase him around the club to catch him, to get him to leave, because he would just bless his heart. But Mike was there for that. Yeah, gosh, so many. Those Penguins days. Those were good. Those were good times.
For sure.
Good times indeed. Let's see here. Things. Okay, this is kind of an obscure, a little more obscure Beatles tune, but I remember I heard it in over at Publix on the Muzak
Really?
Okay.
one day, and I went, that would make a great. I don't really even know the tune, but I knew it was them, and I thought,
Right.
you know what? I'm gonna take that and kind of rearrange it, because I think that would be a cool thing. So here it is. This is the things we said today.
You say you will love me if I have to go. You'll be thinking of me. Someday I will know. Someday when I'm lonely someone so far away, then I will remember things we said today. You say you'll be mine, girl, till the end of time. These days, such a kind girl seems so hard to find. Someday when we're dreaming deep in love, not a lot to say, then we will remember things we said today. Me, I'm just a lucky kind. Love to hear you say that love is love, and though we may be blind, love is here to stay, and that's enough to make you mine, girl. Be the only one. Love me all the time, girl. We'll go on and on. Someday when we're dreaming deep in love, not a lot to say, then we will remember things we said today. Just a lucky kind. Love to hear you say that love is love, and though we may be blind, love is here to stay, and that's enough to make you mine, girl. Be the only one. Love me all the time, girl. We'll go on and on. Someday when we're dreaming deep in love, not a lot to say, then we will remember things we said today. Then we will remember things we said today. Things we said today. Thank you.
Is John Lever with you?
Yes, that was John DeVersa right there. That was
John DeVersa, nice.
Wow, wow.
So that Wendy, thank you. That was for your mother.
Well, she appreciated it. She had
Well, I
she
hope
had googly eye hearts.
I hope she recognized it.
Ken Kilpatrick says, "Hey Rick, sounding great." Oh no, that
Oh
was
nada. Oi, tudo bem, nada.
sounding great. I hope we get to play the Carlisle Club again.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Kenny.
You see that? I didn't know that song. That was a.
Thank you, yeah, I know it. I didn't know it either. Wow, thank you, Connie. Bless you.
See that? Everybody's loving you.
Gisela. Oh, Giselle.
Yeah.
Boa noite.
So listen, thank you so much.
We got you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
We miss you so. I miss hearing you play. You don't get. I mean, I know you're up there more and I'm down here, but I just don't think you are playing enough. Your own music, your own arrangements.
Well, we were gonna do the co-op. I wanted to do a Monday night there, until.
Yeah. Well, when
until
we all come back, you will
Thanks,
be
Eddie.
doing one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
great.
and I'm as happy as I am for all your successes with Lulu and Dina and all the other and Don and all the things you're
Charlie.
doing. It's I miss playing with you.
Amen.
I'm like the last
I know,
incarnation of the circle, and I'm not getting enough. I feel like I got shortchanged a little bit.
You know what? Yeah, those nights down at Soika.
I know.
And at the Lincoln Road thing,
Yeah.
what was it? The Van Dyke. Oh my
Good
gosh,
times,
those
Yeah.
were so much fun.
Just thank you for
Thanks,
agreeing
Nicky.
to do this, and it's such a pleasure to hear your singing and your playing and your arrangements.
Thank
What a
you.
treat!
Yeah,
Love
you
you
sound
guys.
great. Love you.
Keep doing. So is this like you do this every Monday with different folks, just once a week, or?
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Well, it's a good plan. It's a good
plan.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm so honored that you would ask, and I was so pleased that I had oh my gosh, I got to get my hands on the piano. I got to practice. I got to work this up a little bit. I was just, oh my gosh, it was so nice to have that little mandate there.
Yeah.
So
you sound
good.
amazing, and thank you again. And we'll definitely
Thanks, guys.
be in touch, and at the very least get together when all this passes and enjoy some time together.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Likewise.
We
All
will
right.
see you soon.
Go
Thank
wash
you
your
so
hands.
much.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Rick Krive, ladies and gentlemen.
Love you guys.
Love
Thanks.
you. Bye bye, Rick.
Bye.
Well, that concludes another edition, the second edition of the Monday Night Virtual Jazz. And we want to thank everybody who tuned in. We hope that you will share this on your Facebook page. And if you haven't already liked and followed the Miami Jazz Co-op on Facebook, that you do so, because the more people we have and share with, the more people will get to see this. So
Also, we're doing the virtual tip jar.
That's right. We have the virtual chip jar in case you want to support the musicians who you've seen tonight and the
It's
community.
very easy to do. Just what you see on the screen. Text tip jar, put in those numbers, and then it'll take you to a site, and you can make a donation. And we'd also like to let you know that, yes, we are doing these on Monday night for as long as we need to.
We might try to do an afternoon one to do so that people in Europe will be able to watch as well. So we might do like a 2 o'clock or a 3 o'clock on one of these days, just to so that people don't have to watch it at 4 in the morning. Although they can watch it after the fact too. It works out. So
Anything else we need to? Okay, yes. So
I think that's
I
it.
think we should talk about next
next week we have planned to have Jorge Garcia, playing guitar, and hopefully he'll be featuring stuff from his brand new record, which is fantastic. And our very own fantastic, beautiful woman, Miss Brenda Alford, is also going to be joining us next week. So we hope you'll tune in. It should be fun and fabulous. And stay safe and stay well and keep the music alive. We're going to do our best to try. So
Thank you so much for tuning in. Tell all your friends, and let's keep this growing exponentially. How about that?
there you go. Let's make this like a virus. Keep it spreading.
So thank you again for tuning in, and we will see you next Monday at 8 o'clock with Brenda Alford and Jorge Garcia. Thank you from the Miami Jazz Co-op. Until next week. Bye-bye.